I showed up to my ex's wedding with a homeless man, and people laughed before we even stepped inside. They whispered, they stared, some of them actually smiled like they were watching a joke unfold in real time. And honestly, I don't blame them because from the outside that's exactly what it looked like. A woman who had been dumped, replaced, quietly erased from a powerful man's life, suddenly walking into his perfect day with someone who clearly didn't belong. What they didn't know, what no one could have guessed, was that the man beside me wasn't there for love, and he definitely wasn't there for money. He was there to finish something that had been broken years ago. The invitation arrived on a Tuesday morning. Thick paper, elegant font, my ex-fiancé's name printed proudly at the top like he was daring me to react. His name was Victor Hale, now rising star in finance, engaged to a woman his family adored, the kind of woman who looked perfect in photos and never asked uncomfortable questions. I stared at that envelope for a long time, feeling that familiar burn in my chest, the one you get when you realize someone didn't just leave you. They replaced you like you were a bad investment. My friends told me not to go, said it would only reopen old wounds. But I wasn't bleeding anymore. I was angry, and anger has a way of sharpening your focus. I knew one thing for sure: I wasn't showing up alone. That would have been exactly what Victor wanted, proof that I was still the same woman he walked away from. I needed someone unexpected, someone who would make him hesitate even just for a second. And that's how I met Jonah. Sitting on the sidewalk outside a closed cafe, jacket torn. Hands rough, eyes sharp in a way that didn't match the rest of him. When I offered him money, he looked up and smiled like he'd already figured me out. "You're not doing this for me," he said. "You're doing it because someone hurt you." That should have scared me. Instead, it intrigued me. I told him I needed a date for an event, promised to pay him well enough to get back on his feet. He laughed, not desperate, not grateful, just amused. "You always talk like this," he said, "like you're rescuing someone." I told him to clean up, wear a suit, smile. He stood up slowly, looked down at me and said, "I'll come. Not for the money. I just want to see how far you're willing to go." That was the moment I realized I wasn't in control anymore, and somehow I didn't mind. He didn't react to the car, the tailor, the transformation. When he stepped out of the fitting room in that suit, adjusting his cufflinks like it was muscle memory, my stomach tightened. Not because he looked good, though he did, but because he looked familiar. Like a man who had worn power before and lost it. At the wedding, the reaction was immediate. Heads turned. Whispers followed us like smoke. Victor froze when he saw Jonah. Just for a fraction of a second, but I caught it. That was my first win of the day. Then Jonah spoke. Calm, polite, lethal. "Congratulations," he said, shaking Victor's hand. "Marriage is serious. I was engaged once, too. Didn't work out. Turns out I wasn't the right fit for her family." I felt the air shift. Victor did, too. He tried to smile, tried to recover, but something was off now. He knew it. I could see it in his eyes. Jonah didn't just blend in. He dominated the room quietly. He spoke to investors. Like an insider, laughed at the right moments, danced like someone who knew exactly where to place his hands. People kept saying he looked familiar. He kept smiling like he enjoyed the mystery. By the time Victor pulled me aside and demanded to know where I found him, I already knew this wasn't just about me anymore. Jonah wasn't a prop. He was a reckoning. That night I dug into his past, or tried to. There was nothing. No records, no history. Like he'd erased himself. When I confronted him, he finally told me part of the truth. His real name wasn't Jonah. It was Elias Reed. His father had once run a massive construction firm, respected, powerful, until one partner betrayed him, framed him, stripped everything away. His father died before he could clear his name. His mother followed soon after. Elias ended up on the streets watching the world that destroyed his family keep spinning. And the man behind it all was Victor Hale. That's when the story stopped being about humiliation and started being about justice. Elias had spent years gathering evidence, waiting for the right moment. And somehow, without knowing it, I handed him the perfect stage. When Victor tried to destroy Elias by leaking his past to the press, it backfired. Because Elias was ready. at a private dinner meant to trap him. The truth came out instead. Documents, recordings, proof of fraud, and embezzlement all tied back to Victor. Police walked in. Handcuffs clicked. Victor's empire collapsed in front of the same people who once worshipped him. Elias leaned in and whispered, "Now you know what it feels like to lose everything." After that, something in him changed. The anger loosened its grip. I offered him a business partnership, not charity. He hesitated, pride still bruised, but agreed on one condition: he'd do it his way. And he did. The company took off. I stayed close, not hovering, just present. Somewhere between late nights and quiet victories, I fell in love. He fought it at first. People who've lost everything are afraid to hold on again. But life has a way of breaking down walls. One night I got sick. He showed up, took care of me, stayed all night. No strategy, no armor, just love. When I said it out loud, he didn't run. He said it back. The rest didn't happen fast, but it happened honestly. A proposal by the water, a quiet yes, a wedding filled with peace instead of power games. And then life surprised us again. Twins. Proof that even the most broken stories can grow something beautiful at the end. Sometimes I think about that invitation that envelope meant to humiliate me. And I laugh, because Victor thought he was inviting me to watch him win. Instead, he invited the man who would end him. So here's my question for you: was this justice, or was it revenge? And where do you draw the line when someone destroys a life and walks away smiling? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear what you think.